And this is Carol Hagen. I'm the owner of Hagen Business Systems, and I want to thank everyone for attending today. I've got Aaron Cordy with me from Bluebeam Software on the line. He is going to be actually doing most of the presentation here today, and I didn't know if anyone had any questions before we got started. Anything out there?
Everyone's pretty much muted right now, Carol. I can see if I can unmute them.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get started, and we'll let you all feel free to ask anything in the chat while this is going on. I'll take it away, Aaron. Thank you so much.
All right. Hello, everybody. Hope all is going well today. Now, I'm not quite sure how familiar everybody is with Bluebeam Revu, but Carol has actually started this webinar specifically for us to focus on estimating using the software itself. So let's go ahead and just do a quick overview of Bluebeam Revu. It's a PDF creator, editor, markup, and collaboration software. But the markups that we put into the software are actually very powerful to the extent that we can actually do quantity takeoff and estimation directly from a PDF itself. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself a little bit more. My name is Aaron Cordy. I do work for Bluebeam Software, and I do work with Carol and Hagen Business Systems on a regular basis. My degree is in civil engineering. I was in the construction industry for about 3 years, working with McCarthy building companies, and used Bluebeam Revu in the field quite extensively to take what this very paper-filled workflow, this is actually my old trailer, and actually put everything into PDF format and was able to actually just go to PDFs and have a couple of TV screens and computers, and we were doing all of our work and managing all of our documents here in that digital format. So that's a bit of my background, but we're going to go ahead and specifically focus on estimation today, even though I think we're going to have a series of webinars here, Carol, that will talk about multiple phases of construction, everything from pre-con. We're going to go over takeoffs and estimation today. We can do punch list, closeout, etc. Like I said, it's a PDF creator and editor. That's what Bluebeam Revu is. But the tools that we provide you to streamline your workflow, especially in the AEC industry, is really the difference of Bluebeam Revu. With that being said, let's go ahead and hit the escape button. And you can see that I'm in Bluebeam Revu right now. And I just want to make sure that there's no comments or questions. Make sure that everybody can see my screen. It looks like we're all doing okay there. If you guys have any questions or you want to raise your hand or anything of that sort, please feel free to just go ahead and type it in the questions box. I'll try to answer that immediately. Carol, if you could help me monitor that, that would be fantastic. Draw my attention to it so I can answer that question immediately if it comes up. So this is Bluebeam Revu, and hopefully you guys are familiar with this interface. If not, don't be scared. It's actually a very easy to use program. Now I'm going to go ahead up to a different profile. So I go to View, and I can go to my profiles, and I have some predefined profiles, and one that comes with the software itself is actually estimation. Now when I click on this, it's going to reorient my interface and give me all the tools that I need to actually do estimation for the most part. And you can have multiple profiles like construction, office, punch, etc. You can even create your own customized profiles just by going Add. Then you can go ahead and save it and export it to others. So let's go over a little bit of the basics of markups. So I'm going to open up a PDF. We have 3 different panels. There's a panel on the right side here. You can see by these panel indicators. There's one on the bottom, and there's one on the left side. And this next one here actually has my file access tab. And this keeps track of PDFs that I'm using on a regular basis. So I'm going to go ahead and launch this particular PDF. Now with one click, it'll go ahead and open that up. Carol, are you there? I just want to make sure you can see my screen and everything's fine.
I am.
I just want to make sure you can see my screen and everything's functioning well.
Well, we were moving along fine. I still see estimating with Bluebeam Revu.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me see what's going on. It looks like I'm having a bit of lag over here. You got to love GoToWebinar / GoToMeeting. One moment. You still see the estimating, Carol?
Yes.
Okay. And let me double check. What about now? Carol, can you see the new updated PDF that I have here?
Yeah, we're good to go now.
Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and move forward. So this is Bluebeam Revu, and we do specialize in PDFs. So if you're familiar with AutoCAD and just navigating a PDF, it navigates a wide format drawing. As you can see, it's a 30 by 42 inch document down here, just like you do in AutoCAD. So if I was to hover over these stairs and scroll up, it zooms right into that location. I can hold my center scroll wheel to pan, scroll down to zoom out. Just navigating a wide format file is very easy. So we have up here our markups. And from here, we can go ahead and create the text box. Hello all. Or other fun things like callouts, clouds, shapes, different things of that sort. Pretty much anything that you need to put onto this particular PDF, we've created a markup for. Again, a lot of this is specifically built for the AEC industry. But we're not here to talk about custom, just markups. We're really here to learn about estimating. So let's go to this measurement tab. And as you can see when I click on that measurements tab, it's now bringing up some tools for me. I use my measuring tool, calibrate, I can do linear measurements, lengths, perimeters, area, volume, so on and so forth. Now this tab access over here, I actually like to see my measurements panel as well. It's just going to go ahead and help me out a little bit. So let's go ahead and begin estimating on this particular PDF. So the very first thing we want to do is check our scale. And it looks like the architect tells us that an 1/8 inch equals 1 foot. Well, I'm not sure if I trust that quite yet, so let's go ahead and calibrate my scale to make sure that I'm drawing properly. So let's go ahead and hit calibrate. Now this tells me to select 2 known points to go ahead and calibrate my scale. And notice how this is actually trying to snap to the PDF itself. That little blue square is getting to the dead center of that line to make this completely accurate. And I know this distance is 30 feet 0 inches. And notice that it's updated my scale right here. So let's go ahead and verify with a different dimension and just make sure that I am drawing to scale. So I draw it from here to here. Voila. Okay, we are now calibrated and drawing to scale in this document. That's step number 1. Now from here, let's go ahead and create some tools that will do some estimating for us. So maybe if I want to measure flooring. We are a flooring contractor, and we want to do the quantity takeoffs for wood flooring. Let's go ahead and set that up. So we can go in here and do an area, and just go ahead and drag that box out. I see it's 235 square feet. Now a handy little tool is just holding on the shift. You can actually pull that text around pretty easily. Let's go ahead and customize this real fast, though. So let's go ahead and go to the Properties panel here, and we will call this a subject of flooring. And I like to give it a fill color of orange, but I want to see through it. So change the fill opacity a little bit. You can make this text red or orange, something of that sort. And this other color here, orange as well. So I've now created a custom measuring tool that's going to estimate flooring. All right, so now I want to go ahead and measure this boardroom. And I'm also going to be doing a flooring measurement. My default settings are still, let's go ahead and just close this up real quick. The basic red box that I was working in a moment ago. All right, well, Bluebeam Revu has actually built a tool or feature called the tool chest. Once you create a markup, you never have to recreate that markup. So right here is my tool chest. I actually have it open. And it's keeping a running record of every single markup that I'm creating here. So if I want to put this in my materials section, I can just drag and drop it to materials. The recent tools area will clear out whenever I'm done using the software, but if I save it and drag and drop it to a tool chest or a tool set here, whether I open up a PDF in a day, a week, a month, a year, I'll have that tool waiting to be used. So it's probably pretty rare that I'm going to measure this exact same footprint here. So let's go ahead and actually toggle this tool to properties mode. So if I double click this, now it's in properties mode. You see that symbol right there has changed. Now I can go in here and actually just estimate flooring for all these rooms pretty quickly. Let's do something a little more complex, like this room here. I will again go to my flooring tool that we just built. And let's go ahead and click here and go around this room where we have a curve. Now, no other PDF software actually does curves. I'm going to hit C. That's a little shortcut for you guys to close it up. You can see it's 357 square feet. Now, right-click on this software is our best friend. It brings up our context menu. So if I want to convert this section to an arc, I just right-click it, and there it is, convert this to an arc. I can get in there and fine-tune that a little bit, and we are good to go. So maybe if I have a cutout in the middle of the room, we're going to put some cabinets, or we're going to put a different type of flooring in the center of this room. We can even do a cutout and cut this whole section out, and it will update that quantity for me. All right, any questions so far, guys? I'm not seeing anything popping up. Carol, any comments before we move on?
No, I think you're doing fine.
Can you hear me okay? Is it coming through pretty clearly and the screen's moving out of deeper phase?
Everything's good.
All right, let's go ahead and move on then. So that was kind of the basics of estimating and kind of doing quantity takeoffs. We've got a lot more to do. So if I'd like to, I can also click on this, begin to assign this to a layer. So if I want to create a new layer and call this my flooring layer, no problem. Well, I could select all those measurements I just created and put them all in that flooring layer. Again, right-click our best friend is attach it to flooring, and you can see if I go up to my tab access, and let's go ahead and take a look at layers. I can turn them on, turn them off. So if you want to estimate flooring, different types of flooring, you can really go ahead and sort your markups or your measurements very, very easily by using some layers. Now let's go ahead and talk about customizing this a little bit more to do, other than just getting the quantities, how we're going to use Revu to help us with the estimation piece of our work. This is where we talk about the markups tracking list. And this is the bottom panel here. So now you can see my PDF. There it is. And I've got quite a few markups. And if I sort by subject, I can see here all of my flooring markups here. And when I click on it, notice how it jumps to the respective markup right here. Now, this is keeping a running track of every single markup that I put into the software. So if I was to, again, use my tool chest and put this one here, there it is, just added it to the list. Now, these columns all come pre-built with the software here. So I can turn on volume, count, area, just measurements, whatever the measurement might be. Even there's things with status. So if I'm reviewing it and I'm saying this is completed, I can complete it. So you can set statuses as well. Let's go ahead and actually create a custom column. Here's my layers, also if I want to see the layers. Let's create a custom column. So I'm going to go to Manage Columns, and here's a custom column right here. Let's add a new one. And we'll call this Material. And we could have make it a text column, a check mark, date, formula. I personally prefer the choice. This is the best way to create choices for material types. So let's call this bamboo or wood bamboo. The subject will be flooring here. We want this subject in our column right here to match this subject over here that we created for our tool. So this is a key piece of information for you guys to remember. This subject flooring here for the column should match the subject of the tool chest item that you created. And what's called bamboo wood flooring of, I don't know, $19.79 per square foot. Let's go ahead and add one more. If I do wood, and we can make it oak. Again, we'll use the same subject, and I really have no idea how much bamboo wood flooring costs, but I assume it's going to be at least something of that sort, probably in the $20 range, but we'll go ahead and hit OK. Or, if I wanted to, I can actually go in here and say carpet, plush, and this would be flooring. And because of carpet, it's probably a little cheaper, $4.44. And let's hit OK. So you guys have to go ahead and distinguish that cost ahead of time, whether that includes man hours or the sub padding. If you want to create multiple markups for maybe the adhesive and the material and then the carpet, whatever it might be, that's all depending on how you want to set up that cost. So now I have this material column that didn't exist before. And let's go ahead and just filter out all my comments. And I only want to see my flooring comments here. So now we're only going to focus on these flooring comments here. Notice in this markups list, it's actually filtered out those comments for me also. So this particular markup here, we will call this bamboo flooring. And this one here is also bamboo. That one, it's actually plush carpet. This one is all is oak. And that will also be oak. Okay, so that's nice. We've added some material types here, bamboo, wood, and I can jump to each one of them individually. But let's go ahead and get cost. So let's work on this just a little bit more. Let's create another custom column by going to our Manage Columns and add one more custom column. This will be a formula, and this will be the cost. Now I'd like to see a currency, so let's go ahead and choose that. Now I'd like to take the product of my measurement times the material that we just specified. And let's go ahead and we're going to see that populate over here on the right side. And there it is. So what this has done is taken 235 square feet, multiplied it times the cost of $19.79, and given me the cost of it as $4,650.65. The total cost of flooring so far is about $14,600. Now I can go in here and I can sort by material type if I prefer by clicking Material. Now I can see the cost of my plush carpet is $728. The cost of bamboo wood flooring in total is $799, so on and so forth. Now if I'm down here and I'd like to continue to add to my measurements, no problem. Let's go ahead and grab my flooring tool again. Measure this room. And this is also carpet. Quite as simple as that. Again, we can add these layers, turn them on, turn them off, things of that sort. All right, so that's kind of estimating in a quick nutshell, but let's go ahead and go into some more of the advanced features. I'm going to do a quick check for any questions, see if anybody's asked anything yet, maybe anything in the chat window. I'm not seeing anything at all. Guys, feel free to chime in at any time. All right, let's go ahead and just move right along then. Let me talk about how we have this information here in Bluebeam Revu and how we're going to go ahead and use it a little further past the PDF document. So I can take this information and however I sort it, filter it, etc., I can go ahead and create a report with exactly how I organize this markups list down here. So if I want to create a report, this information, and I don't want to see it with the page index, maybe I do want to see the status saying I accept that change here, and that one's completed, no problem. But maybe I don't want to see the author or the color. So I can turn all that off, and now I prefer to see it broken down by material type. So plush carpet, bamboo wood flooring, oak wood flooring. I can take this information and actually export it by using a summary right here. So let's go ahead and make this a CSV summary, which will be exporting it to Excel. So I'm just going to go ahead and save this to my desktop real fast. Let Review compile this report, exactly how I've organized this right here. And it's launching Excel for me. Now this ID field is just an indicator for the markup. We don't need that, so you can hide it or delete it. Same thing with that parent, also not needed. But you now can see that I have my subject of flooring. Here's that status list. Here is the comments, area, the measurements, flooring. I can see the material type and even the cost of it. So you really can go ahead and export it and use this information in Excel very, very easily. Now, something that's kind of fun to show is creating a summary. Well, I like the PDF summary here. So we've been working on this single PDF, as you can see in my thumbnails tab right here. If I'd like to send this off to someone else and ask them, hey, do you agree with my measurements so far? Let's create a PDF summary. And the key button here is append to current PDF. Now, this will be my flooring estimate. Let's hit OK. So it's going to do the same thing as we just did with Excel, except it's going to break it down into a summary in a PDF format. So again, if I look to my thumbnails view, I can see my overall PDF we've been working in. And I can zoom in real quick, and this is my flooring estimate. It's broken out my plush carpet, total area of 285 square feet, total cost of $1265. If I'm not exactly sure where this office is right here, I can just click on it. Notice that my hand has a little H hovering above it. It's actually hyperlinked, so I can go ahead and click on it. It jumps right to that markup for me within the parent document itself here. Easy to share. I just put the email button. I can go ahead and send that off to bob@abc.com, whoever it might be. Also very easy to share. Please check my calcs. Now what's really nice about this PDF summary is if maybe the person that you're working with does not have Bluebeam Revu and doesn't have access to this information down here, you can create this PDF report and give them that information right here, even if they have Acrobat or some other PDF software. All right. Now, Carol, you asked me to actually talk about estimating from Google Maps, right? Let me go ahead and open that up real fast.
Yes, it seems to be a high item.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead in here and I'm opening up Google Maps real fast. I'm going to zoom into Fontana, California, and my old hospital that I worked on while I was at McCarthy. It looks like my internet is struggling a little bit. And I'm going to zoom into that old hospital that I was working on. Where is Sierra? There it is. So you can go ahead in here and find the image or the area that you're looking at. Pixelating. So I actually went in here, I took a snapshot of this particular area by hitting print screen, and then I went ahead and created the PDF out of that screenshot. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up real fast. Again, file access, I've already saved it, estimating from Google. And here it is. I must have collapsed that other window. So here's that exact same image that I was looking at a moment ago. Now let's go ahead and zoom in here a little bit. Notice how I left the scale here for me. So again, I can go hit the Calibrate button. And going by Google's scale, I know that from here to here is 200 feet. Let's hit OK. Let's go ahead and open this up and make sure I'm drawing properly. Let's just go ahead and confirm that. Okay, looks like I am drawing to scale there. Let's go ahead and do a fun little exercise. Maybe we'll figure out the silk fence that's required around this job site. So let's start with a linear tool, but I'd like the perimeter tool. Now let's go ahead and close that up. Now I got this nice little perimeter tool here. Well, let's also customize it. Let me give it a blue color, maybe something a little more vibrant. Let's do orange again just because it's easier to see. And we'll call this silk fence. I can even give it a label, silk fence. There we go. So now I have this tool chest. Let's go ahead and drag this to my materials. I don't need this anymore now that I've built it. So let's delete it, and let's go ahead and figure out how much silk fence we need around Kaiser Fontana. So let's grab that and start estimating. I'm assuming I have to go around the new hospital construction because it's not quite complete yet. It looks like they got to do a little jog over here, back down over here. Let's go back around the sensor utility plant, and let's hit C to close it up. And again, I can open up the markups list and see it looks like I need a 3,071 feet and 7 inches of lineal silk fence. Did that answer your question well enough, Carol? Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, that was the kind of thing I was thinking about. You could do the same thing with figuring out the area of the parking lot, or getting an estimate if you were trying to do a flat roof on a building.
You got it. So if I was doing landscaping, I wanted to zoom in here and figure out the landscaping for this area. How much? I don't know, how many bushes or per square feet am I going to need? Whatever landscaping is there. That landscaping area is almost 34,000 square feet. Same thing if I wanted a tool to measure parking lots. I could create one of my tool chests very, very easily. Looks like I have a question. Let me see what the question is. Is there an advantage to separating flooring types by material instead of creating a new markup type for each flooring type? That is the question. Is there an advantage to separating flooring types by material instead of creating a new markup type for each flooring type? It really is up to you. So I'm going to answer your question without really answering it. I have many estimators that create a very extensive list of different tool chest items. So maybe not materials, but there will actually be a flooring tool chest, and it will be flooring for wood, and then carpet, and then tile, and stone, and so on and so forth. And this material, or the tool chest items, is very, very detailed. And you can go ahead and associate cost with them, and the drop-down windows, and so they just have to go ahead and grab the correct one and start going. But it makes it so that their markups list is actually very simplistic. Alternatively, you can make your materials more simple like I have here, but then your custom columns here are just going to be a little bit more complex. So it really depends on how you work or what makes sense to you to go ahead and to do that estimation. I can't recommend one way or the other. I've seen them both be very, very successful. Hope that answers your question, Ian. And then Randy asked.
I've got a little.
Randy asked if you can do this from Street View. I'm not quite sure if you can do this from Street View. You need to know the scale. So if they give you the scale of the Street View, you should be able to do it. But again, if you're at the Street View, images in the foreground are obviously going to be larger than images in the background that are further away from you. So I would assume by default that would not work so well. It's always much better if it's just topographical or overhead view, as you see here. All right. So
I'd like to add two things to those comments that you made. On the carpet, I have also seen, or the flooring issues, I have also seen people put different patterns in. so that they can tell visually, not just with a color, but you know, with some sort of a brick pattern that, or that type of background in the fill area, so that they can tell what is going in which room. So that might be a benefit if you're going to go the more detailed piece. And on the Google Maps, even when you're doing an aerial takeoff, you know, from above, you really want to make sure that you have a photo that is directly above rather than at an angle, because you will get some things in Google Maps that are at an angle, and then everything kind of gets skewed, so your accuracy will not be as good.
Yes, you definitely want to be careful in that. Even when I was grabbing the image a little earlier, I almost made that mistake where it had a 45-degree tilt, and then I had to force that off. So definitely be careful of that. You might want to make sure that's directly overhead. That's going to give you your best estimation. So if I go in here and I see map or satellites, so if this is checked as 45, if you get in a little closer, you'll notice that you'll see a slant to all the buildings. There's that slant right there. So this isn't so recommended because it's not going to give you the best results or as accurate information. Is that your is that what you're looking for there, Carol, that 45-degree?
That's what I wanted to warn people about.
Gotcha. And notice you can customize these markups however you would like. So I did that hatch. I like to put it maybe that brick pattern. There you go. I even decided to put bamboo there. So you can really customize these markups however you would like. Even if I go here and I say the material is wood bamboo, I can switch that to plush carpet or oak very, very easily from here. And notice how it's updating my cost right here. So bamboo, 33.4. Oak is 24.2, and carpet 7.5.
Aaron, can you show a quick visuals search and show how that they could get the count of something? I don't know if you've got something that's landscape with trees or something like that, but there's a lot of things to count.
I sure can. Let's go ahead and talk about counting. So if you've been looking around the software, bored of me just talking nonstop, you've noticed this count button right here. And you can go ahead and use that to start counting, I don't know, water closets. So I can go through here and count all of them. And let's go ahead and turn this filter off. And I see I have a count of 6 of them, and apparently that's 6. That was the default setting for that particular counting tool. I didn't reset that. Shame on me. You can go ahead and customize this as well. So if you're doing quantity takeoffs, the same thing would apply here. I'd create that material. I would have it be like a sink column and give it a cost of $300 for sink type A, and then it would give me, you know, $300 times 6, give it a cost for all those sinks. Now, if you don't want to have to go through and manually count all of those, let's go ahead and leverage the power of Bluebeam's search feature. So let's go ahead and use search. That's much more than a simple text search if I want to find hallway. I actually prefer to use a visual search. So now I can go search for a detail. So let me go ahead and get rectangle. And I'd like to search for an image that looks like this. And notice it's popped up that image for me right here. I can search my current documents, all my open documents, my recents, or an entire folder of PDFs. I can search an entire folder of every single PDF and look for every instance of that image. Let's go ahead and just leave it to the current document, though. The sensitivity can be adjusted. Let's go ahead and hit search. Let Revu do its thing. It's going to go ahead and search this entire document for that particular image. Give it a moment to do its job. It's kind of thinking pretty hard connecting to GoToWebinar, presenting. I have Review open and Firefox and a few other things. But there it is. Looks like it's found all of this particular water closets. Now I can feel free to go in here and check each one of them on or off individually. Notice how it's actually popping up which one is where. If I'd like to select all of them, we got this check all button. And maybe I'd like to highlight all of those checks. Now they're all highlighted. So you can see these different highlights. I can go ahead and change the subject of these pretty fast, change them to counts for me, and estimate those water closets right from there. But notice that it did not catch the water closets in the opposite orientation. So currently, Review will only search with objects with the same orientation. So if it was facing north or south or west, you'd have to do the search for the image as well. Is that what you're looking for there, Carol? I'm going to go ahead and talk about sequences and actions.
Yes. Can we give us? Yeah, you can do that, and then maybe just do a quick of what's coming in Review 11 that we can actually tell them about.
No problem. So just sequences and actions real quick. I'll show you the counting tool, which is like I had counting doors or windows. So if you prefer an action, you can go ahead and define a sequence. And if you want to start counting rooms, it'll actually automatically sequence all that for you. So even if you're doing light fixtures, whatever it might be, we do have all the tools in here itself. All right, I showed you guys reports via Excel, via PDF, sharing and emailing. I don't think we have time to go to spaces today, Carol. We do want to end with a fun little teaser video. So I'm talking about how visual search only searches in the current orientation. Now we have many estimators using our software, and they said this has to be better. There's got to be a better way. This is ridiculous that I have to search for it multiple times to accommodate for the multiple orientations of an object. So this is a Review 11 preview site. And this is a fun little teaser of the advancements we're making in visual search. Hopefully you guys like The Office and you guys get a laugh out of this. This is a coworker of mine, Jeremy. He just found out what the new visual search features are.
Yeah, I've never really believed in destiny. I mean, leave that to the junior high school girls and their love letters to their boyfriends. No, I believe a man, he charts his own path. He creates his own course. Well, that is until today. When I got that email, I opened that up and I believed in destiny. What came in our inboxes? It was a visual search for Review 11. Did you see all the cool things that it can do? And the coolest thing, with visual search, you can filter by size. So what that means is you can draw a box, and let's say I have a box, and Robert, you see the symbol, and they put a box around the symbol, and anything inside the box will get assigned. That's the coolest thing. You can also filter by color. You can filter by fine detail. You can even find symbols that are rotated in 45-degree increments. So if I have a symbol and it's rotated 45 degrees, well, you gotta find that. Or 90 degrees even. You got a symbol at 90 degrees. You gotta find all of them. Or at 180 degrees even. Yes. Oh, up all the way down to 180 degrees. It's gonna be so awesome. It'll find it even if it's rotated upside down.
Hey, buddy. Hey, how's it going? Hey, man, you see Miriam over there in the corner? Yeah, you're scaring her again.
Oh.
She's just a little afraid.
Okay.
Yeah, hey, so just calm down a little bit, all right? Can we do that? I know. It's going to be great. It really is. But here, let me help you. All right, come on. Let's see. I know. You're brilliant. Hey, buddy. Hey, you want to do the song? Let's do our song, okay? I am the blue. You are the star. We're the sky. All right, good, man. Okay, you're gonna do all right. You're gonna make it. You're gonna do good. It's really exciting. I know. He is really excited. I am really excited.
And there is your teaser of visual search enhancements for Review 11 coming out very shortly here. All right, Carol, I think that brings us up for most of our time. Is there any other questions?
I didn't check and see if there's anything else in that chat.
I'm not seeing
But
anything.
yeah, I'll be emailing each of the attendees additional information. I know some of them already own Bluebeam, others do not. I know we had one person that was coming in from India with perhaps one of his coworkers, and certainly would be able to chat with you over Skype if you'd like, so that we can get questions answered instead of having to go back and forth quite so often on emails. But I appreciate all of your time. If there are no other questions, I'll be sending out an email to each of you to get some feedback as to did you learn what you wanted or what else do you need to know about. For those who do not own Bluebeam or think that they may need more licenses, I can also, of course, address those issues as well. And if you know anyone else that might be interested in seeing some of what Bluebeam can do, please do think of me. You all have my contact information because I have emailed you. And thank you very much for this afternoon.
Hey, Carol, I have a question from Ian.
Oh, great.
And bless Ian's heart, he wants to learn more. I was trying to let them get out of this webinar a little early and go finish their lunch. But he wants to hear about spaces.
Okay, well, jump right into spaces. It really does save quite a bit of time when you're trying to figure out what room something is in and that you're going to share that with other people.
All right, let's jump right into spaces real fast. This tool is near and dear to my heart because I got to help create spaces. Being someone that worked in the field, that did punch lists, that did some quantity takeoffs, etc., there had to be a better way to track where specific issues were. So instead of having to go down here and create a custom column, that this was in maybe like a custom column that said a particular markup was in area A on the first floor in room 101. We figured we'd automate that a little bit by actually creating spaces. So let's go ahead and add this space here and say this is floor 1. Can't type today apparently. Floor 1. And within floor 1, there is another smaller space. This is area A. And within area A, you can go in here and define, let's do something a little easier. Maybe Office 114. Let's go ahead and create another one. Notice how Review is smart enough to realize that the next particular sequence I might want would be 115. That Review, it's always thinking for me. 116, etc. Okay, so now, if I'm doing punch lists or something of that sort, maybe I'm going to measure the conduit in here. Let's go ahead and put some markups. So I've got a nice little crown molding. If I want to figure out the crown molding in this room, 45 foot, 10 inches. But whatever markups I put in here, you can see where those spaces are. It's going to automatically track exactly where these markups are located, whether it's any type of markup, measurement markup, whatever it might be, it will go ahead and find this for me. So now, instead of having to go create a custom column that specifically tells me where those particular markups are located physically, Spaces allows me to track it automatically. So it's telling me I can sort by space. Here are all my markups in floor 1, area A. There's just floor 1. If it's in a particular room, these markups are associated to room 115, 116, so on and so forth. Ian, hopefully that answers your question.
Anyone else?
All right, everybody, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Aaron, was this recorded at all or no?
It sure was.
Okay, well then what I'll do is I'll make sure that they get a hyperlink to this so they can review it if they'd like.
Sounds great. All right, thank you again, Carol, and everybody else. Hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Excellent. Thank you.
Bye all.